Okay, so we've all been there, right? You're staring at some AI tool, you know it's supposed to be this incredible, powerful thing, but getting great results feels like you're just rolling the dice. You type in a prompt, you hit enter, and you kind of just hope for the best. Well, what if there was a better way? What if you could stop gambling and actually start creating with real intention? That's exactly what we're going to get into today.
I mean, seriously. Does this feel familiar? You have this amazing idea. It's perfectly clear in your head. You try to explain it to the AI, and what you get back is, well, it's just kind of meh, you know? It's generic, it's boring, it's absolutely not what you were picturing. So you tweak the prompt, you try again and again, basically just pulling the lever on a slot machine and praying for a jackpot.
And that, right there, is the big mistake I think a lot of us are making. We're treating these incredibly sophisticated tools like they're some kind of magic box. We get obsessed with the prompt, thinking if we can just find the perfect combination of words, we'll get a perfect result. But in doing that, we're completely ignoring the most important part of the whole equation.
What if the real problem isn't the prompt at all? What if the secret to getting amazing AI outputs has nothing to do with a magic formula and everything to do with giving yourself the space to get clear on your own thoughts before you even start typing? What if the key is to create a little bit of thinking room first?
Now, to really understand why that thinking space is so important, let me tell you a quick story. It actually has nothing to do with AI, but believe me, it holds the entire key to using it well.
So, picture this. A huge, multi-million-dollar tech project. A company was trying to move 1,500 of its digital services over to this new, incredibly complex system called Kubernetes. And, as if that wasn't enough, at the exact same time, they decided to force every single engineer to learn a brand new, complicated way of working. So, two massive changes all at once. And you could probably guess what happened. It was an absolute train wreck.
The person leading this project was just completely stuck. They had meeting after meeting, planning session after planning session, and nothing was working. Then, one day, he's just sitting in a miserable traffic jam, totally bored, completely removed from the pressure of the office, and bam, the solution just hits him.
And the insight was so simple, it was brilliant. You can't change the road and teach people how to drive stick shift at the same time. See, the team was trying to do both. They were changing the fundamental infrastructure, the road, while also forcing everyone to learn a totally new way of driving. The real solution? Stop trying to do everything at once. They put the new workflow on pause, focused only on moving to the new system, and guess what? It worked perfectly.
And here's the big takeaway from that story. The breakthrough didn't happen in some high-pressure strategy session. Nope. It happened because the traffic jam accidentally created some breathing room. That empty mental space allowed for reflection, and that reflection is what led to the breakthrough. And that is the exact kind of space that we just skip right over when we rush to write an AI prompt.
So how do we create that kind of reflection space on purpose without having to get stuck in traffic? Well, we do it by building something called a cognitive canvas.
Now, the cognitive canvas, it's not an app, it's not some fancy template you have to download. It's really just a method. It is a deliberate practice of structuring your own thoughts to get super clear on what you want before you ask an AI to do anything at all. It's all about preparing your mind, not just perfecting your prompt.
And the best part is, you don't need to learn some crazy new skill to do this. The canvas is powered by 3 ways of thinking that you absolutely already have. In fact, you probably use them every single day when you're doing your best work. So these are the 3 pillars, the 3 mental muscles you're going to use. First, there's reflection, that ability to just pause and see the bigger picture. Then you've got engineering thinking, that instinct to break a big problem down into smaller pieces. And finally, a leadership mindset, the power to make a decision and own the final result.
Think about it this way. Reflection is what gives your ideas depth. It's that moment you stop and ask, wait, am I even trying to solve the right problem here? Engineering thinking gives your idea shape. It's how you take a big, messy goal and break it down into a clear, structured plan. And that leadership mindset, that's what gives you motion. It's where you decide, okay, this is my job, and this is what I'm going to delegate to the AI.
So once you get into that mindset, combining reflection, engineering, and leadership, that's when you can start to build the actual canvas. And the structure itself is really simple. It's always made of 3 practical layers.
Yeah? Just 3 layers. Every single canvas you build, doesn't matter if it's for a quick email or a massive project plan, will always have these 3 parts. You can think of it as your input, your thinking space, and then your final result.
So first, you've got your data layer.
This is just all your raw material, your messy notes, the goals of the project, a few articles you saved for inspiration. Then comes the processing layer. And honestly, this is where the real work happens. This is your sandbox, your thinking space, where you and the AI work together to shape all those raw ideas. And finally, you have the output layer. That's the polished, finished thing, the blog post, the presentation that you're actually ready to share with the world.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually start, doing this, like right now?
And this is maybe the most important part of all. You do not need a special tool for this. The cognitive canvas is a habit. It's not a product. You can do this in a simple text document, on a whiteboard. Heck, you could do it on the back of a napkin. It's all about changing your process, not changing your software.
So let's make this super practical. Here are 3 incredibly simple things you can try today with your very next prompt. First, before you type anything, just stop. Take 60 seconds and just write down in plain English what you actually want to achieve. Second, instead of one giant, complicated prompt, try breaking your request into 2 smaller, separate steps. And third, after the AI gives you an answer, don't just look at the result. Pause for a second and ask yourself, how clear was my thinking when I started this?
You see, when you start doing this, the whole dynamic just shifts. You're no longer just throwing confusing requests into a black box and hoping for the best. You're starting from a place of real clarity, and you're using the AI as a powerful partner to help bring your clear vision to life.
And really, that's what this whole cognitive canvas idea is all about. AI is not here to replace you. It's your tool. It's your paintbrush. But you are still the artist. The vision, the idea, the clarity, that always comes from you.